Hi everybody, this is Sister Omi and I am here to do an intro into the new moon that is coming this week, the new moon in Leo. So we've come through the eclipse. We had that lunar eclipse in Capricorn, which may have affected our work practices, things like that. The solar eclipse in Cancer, which had to do with our family, so that there was that polarity. Remember I said it's like that vortex opening up for change. So with this, we're in prep for the new moon that's coming on, depending on where you live, Thursday or Friday. So with all that, we have Mercury retrograde, which will be going forward. We have Saturn into Cappy. Well, that's going to be until next March. Yeah, March. And we also have Jupiter in Sag. So how is all this going to affect us? Now, I laid out these cards because this is a prelude to the new moon. We're getting ready for this energy. So here we have, I'll turn it up here, 4 of air. In reverse. So upright, it was like we were getting towed up. So we're coming out the eclipse now. A lot of this was mental energy that we were feeling, because we were probably, everyone was to some degree was feeling that polarity. So now we're starting to release some of those things to free us up for that energy, right? To free us up to see what types of new seeds we could plant, because it was heck, you know, we had the vortex, Mercury retrograde, and Saturn always teaching us lessons. So we're starting to feel a little release of this energy, starting to dissipate a little bit. Now we also have here the salamander. Now, the interesting about the salamander is the salamander here represents more of a strategic type, mature energy, or someone who may have had some life experiences. But the interesting thing about the salamander is that the salamander is nocturnal. So he's like at night, you know. So releasing some of this energy. Maybe you haven't been sleeping well, or maybe you've been having some very, very vivid dreams. You know, maybe, you know, your guides, your spirits, your ancestors, God, however you, whatever, whomever you perceive that to be, may have been helping you heal. Because the other interesting thing about the salamander, it can regenerate. So if it loses a limb, it can regenerate. So those dreams, even though you're going through all these things, were probably helping some of us to regenerate, or to help us look at areas of our life that maybe we need to start planting some new seeds to move forward. And then here, dwarfs and gnomes. And see, if you notice, he's being very nocturnal here. Now, dwarfs and gnomes were like dwarfs were like the keepers of the earth, and gnomes in say early European times, they were like the bankers. So you don't really see the coins where you see him as the message of earth, but you see him contemplating here. So this could be like even in your dreams. What are you dreaming of? What seeds you're going to plant to produce those pentacles, those coins, those jewels, those diamonds, those ideas? What have you been doing? What are you going to do to cultivate all that? And you know, that's interesting, because we have Saturn and Cappy. And with that Saturn and Cappy, looking at this, it's like achievement and maturity. So we come through that eclipse. We was beat up. Now we can release some of that energy. But Saturn teaches us responsibility. And maybe some of this healing and some of these dreams, because, boom. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, because some of these dreams, some of these things that have been going on at night have been maybe a form of taking ownership of responsibility. Like especially if you can't sleep, if something's on your mind. But it's your responsibility to take ownership for yourself. It's your responsibility to sleep good at night so that you can recharge and regenerate. So now we're starting to release this, coming through those eclipses, getting ready for the new moon. So now we can go in, and when we go to sleep at night, now we can start to regenerate. We'll probably be feeling this more the closer we get to the end of the week. And here, going into the new moon, maybe we're already thinking of ideas, things we can do to improve our mind, body, spirit, or our physical, mental, and emotional, our money, our love, whatever it is that you perceive that to be. Now you're starting to think here, what is the plan? Now, we also have Jupiter in Sagittarius to the end of the year. And Jupiter wants us to expand our experiences and being optimistic. There's a sense of growth. It urges us to increase our cultural and spiritual awareness, activate our higher minds. So there's a lot going on. So the message from Spirit right now is, you see this 4 of Cups? What are you contemplating? This is a little emotional here, but I'm going to read the message right from the book here. And the 4 of Cups message is, the moment has come to make a decision before what you have obtained ends up boring you and stagnating. I think that's very interesting that we have this coming up on the new moon, because it's about planting new seeds. We opened up that vortex. So now, what are we going to do to grow as individuals? What are we going to do to grow as spiritual beings? What are we going to do to grow materially? What are we going to do to grow in our relationships? And it's going to impact all of us in different ways. You know, like I said, this is just general in preparation for that new moon. And here I have the Chariot. Now here it's depicted, if you know anything about the Yoruba culture, this is the Ibejis. And when I look at the Ibeji, especially in this particular card, how it's depicted, it's almost like the yin and yang energy. It's like, how are you balancing your right brain, left brain? How are you balancing your physical world versus your spiritual world? And that's what we just came through with that Capricorn, Cancer, home, family versus work and career. What are we juggling? Now we're getting ready to go into Leo. Leo is new seeds. Leo is about fresh start. Maybe looking at our behaviors, looking at how we do things. But at the same time, Leo likes to be the star, right? So Leo doesn't like criticism per se. But however, going into this new moon, any criticism should be viewed as a blessing, because it's to help grow. So how are we going to balance all these things that are going to be coming in our quest for progress? So I see this week, maybe a lot of people are feeling tired, exhausted, like I need a vacation, I need a break. because we've come through so much energetic changes in the sky. But when I look at the cards here, what it boils down to is we need to make a decision about how we want our future to, what do we want in the future? What is our next goal? What is it that we need to focus on? What are we contemplating? Because we're definitely doing it at night. I don't know if some people are losing sleep or they can't fall asleep because the mind is so active. And really here, we have air and cups, so there's a lot of thought, there's a lot of emotion. So with that air and that emotion, or that air and that water, there is a polarity that we have to be able to find some balance in there someplace. So I think it's kind of interesting at this particular point. So I really want to see, ask my trees, because you know everything is in nature. Everything, the answers are in nature. And it's been what they call hella hot. It's been hella hot. Spirit, give me a message for the collective, because this is a general reading, so we all have to pull what we need or apply what is needed and leave the rest, because everybody's in a different place on their journey. Acclaim. Isn't that interesting, coming up on the Leo? We're getting ready to go into Leo moon, so hey, make that decision. Whatever's keeping you up at night, instead of worrying, you better be mapping out your strategy here. And it says, honey days that dreams are made of, sweeten all that is to follow. The maple tree. So if you're going to stay up, even if it means balancing your checkbook, getting your stuff together, you're going to receive some acclaim for your actions. So balance is definitely needed here. Actually, I think that's pretty good myself. But they say put in the work and you'll get your rewards. Now I think also for, this is the collective, you know, what chakra will, wow, that just flew out like that. So I got two, I'm going to go with it. Okay, the first is the crown chakra, peace, which I think is very relevant, because if we're staying up, we've been staying up, that air, we got to be able to find peace after all we've been dealing with these energetic changes. And if we're being nocturnal, depending on what we're doing staying up, we have to find some inner peace. And with this, is like, if once the mind gets calm, you can really work at seeing what strategies you could put together for whatever it is that you see. This new moon in Leo is like, honey, it's like stepping into queendom and kingdom, however float your boat. But right now it's like finding that peace, calming the mind, even calming the emotions here, because this is almost, it's like he really looks worried here, so you got to make a decision. So as they say, peace, be still in the mind. And here, two fell out, so I'm going to go with them. We have your personal power here. And you're going to need your personal power, because Leo, the energy that you're going to feel from this Leo new moon, it's like, you know, Leo likes to impress others. You know what I'm saying? And they like the admiration. So that means you're coming into your power. But at the same time, you don't like criticism. So you got to be strong within yourself and be able to take any criticism that come your way and use it to your advantage to increase your personal power. That's what this is about. I think it's beautiful. And I want to get a message also Let's see what the angels and the ancestors have to say. They got a message for us. I'm only going to pull one because this is all general. I am going to do a new moon reading, but I have to tell you, I've had some changes in my schedule, so I've been having to adjust. And so I'm not going to do every sign, but we'll see what happens come that new moon, okay? This is the prelude to the new moon, what we got to know. Oh, that goes along with the solar plex, right? That personal power. Unlock the magic within. Because you're coming into that Leo season and oh my God. I mean, it's going to affect all of us differently. But we're all going to, you see how she's like her wings? It's almost like she has the halo. It's like she's brewing, she's brewing something over here on, what's she got in that cup, in that pot? What's she cooking up? What is she cooking up? What are you strategizing towards? Are you starting to plan your regeneration? Because really, you think about it, this Leo moon is like, this is almost like a rebirth. New things, new ideas, a new start. What magic are you going to create at this time? I don't know. But I, quite frankly, think this is really, really beautiful. I think this week going in to the new moon on August 1st or July 30th, 31st, what I get the dates. So we have 31 days this month and August 1st, depending on where you are in the country. It's about coming into that power, coming into that new, coming into that redefining yourself. Is this what you're contemplating? Are you thinking about how you can reinvent yourself and use this, your personal power, and calming your mind to use your personal power to create some magic here for your own acclaim? Now, acclaim is nice when you get accolades from other people, but it's real nice when you can set a goal for yourself and you can pat yourself on the back because you have achieved it. So, folks, let me know what you think. This is about recreating and rebuilding. Because we have, remember now, around that time, Mercury's going forward, so if there was any miscommunications or inability to express yourself, you know, all this stuff, these are things that are going to be breaking away. With that eclipse, the polarity between the Capricorn and the Cancer, you know, between work and home, all these things are starting to fall away. So now, you could regenerate, rebuild, reinvent yourself. And as you're doing that, what is your plan? What are you contemplating? Make a decision. Make the decision. And balance that mind and emotions, that head and heart. Balance that. All right, you guys. Let me know what you think. This is just a prelude to the new moon. I will be following up with a new moon reading. I hope everyone is well, stays well. Thank you so much for tuning in. And please remember to like, share, subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment. This is Sister Omi. Peace.